but possibly those who are unwilling to give up the ancient and inveterate error maintain that they have received the doctrine of their religion not from those who have now been mentioned, but from those who are esteemed among them as the most renowned and finished philosophers, Plato and Aristotle. For these, they say, have learned the perfect and true religion. But I would be glad to ask, first of all, from those who say so, from whom they say that these men have learned this knowledge, for it is impossible that men who have not learned these so great and divine matters from some who knew them should either themselves know them or be able correctly to teach others. And in the second place, I think we ought to examine the opinions even of these sages. For we shall see whether each of these does not manifestly contradict the other. But if we find that even they do not agree with each other, I think it is easy to see clearly that they too are ignorant. For Plato, with the air of one that has descended from above, and has accurately ascertained and seen all that is in heaven, says that the Most High God exists in a fiery substance. But Aristotle, in a book addressed to Alexander of Macedon, giving a compendious explanation of his own philosophy, clearly and manifestly overthrows the opinion of Plato, saying that God does not exist in a fiery substance, but inventing as a fifth substance some kind of ethereal and unchangeable body, says that God exists in it. Thus at least he wrote, not as some of those who have erred regarding the deity say, that God exists in a fiery substance. Then, as if he were not satisfied with this blasphemy against Plato, he further, for the sake of proving what he says about the ethereal body, cites as a witness him whom Plato had banished from his republic as a liar, and as being an imitator of the images of truth at 3 removes, for so Plato calls Homer. For he wrote, "Thus at least did Homer speak, and Zeus obtained the wide heaven in the air and the clouds, wishing to make his own opinion appear more worthy of credit by the testimony of Homer, not being aware that if he used Homer as a witness to prove that he spoke truth, many of his tenets would be proved untrue. For Thales of Miletus, who was the founder of philosophy among them, taking occasion from him, will contradict his first opinions about first principles. For Aristotle himself, having said that God and matter are the first principles of all things, Thales, the eldest of all their sages, says that water is the first principle of the things that exist. For he says that all things are from water, and that all things are resolved into water. And he conjectures this first from the fact that the seed of all living creatures, which is their first principle, is moist, and secondly, because all plants grow and bear fruit in moisture, but when deprived of moisture, wither. Then, as if not satisfied with his conjectures, he cites Homer as a most trustworthy testimony, who speaks thus, "Ocean, who is the origin of all." May not Thales then very fairly say to him, "What is the reason, Aristotle, why you give heed to Homer as if he spoke truth, when you wish to demolish the opinions of Plato? But when you promulgate an opinion contrary to ours, you think Homer untruthful."